We will walk through the key tax deductions that freelancers can claim in Denmark, and how to approach them in a structured, compliant way. As a freelancer, you are effectively running your own small business, and that means your tax position is very different from that of a regular salaried employee. Understanding which costs you can deduct, and how to document them, has a direct impact on your net income and on your ability to manage cash flow professionally. We will focus on the main categories recognized by the Danish Tax Authority, SKAT, and highlight some common pitfalls, so you can approach your next tax year with more clarity and confidence. To start, it is essential to distinguish between private expenses and business-related expenses. Only costs that are directly connected to earning your freelance income, and that are considered ordinary and necessary for your line of work, are generally deductible. This means that while you may work from home on your personal laptop, not all associated costs are automatically deductible. They must be allocated in a way that is defensible if SKAT asks for documentation. With that in mind, one of the most important deduction areas for Danish freelancers is home office expenses. If you regularly and primarily use part of your home for your business, you may be able to deduct a share of your rent, mortgage interest, heating, electricity, and internet costs. The share is typically calculated based on square meters or a reasonable allocation tied to actual usage. For example, if you use one room exclusively as an office, you would calculate that room's proportion of the total living space and apply that percentage to eligible costs. If the space is only partially used for business, or if it is not clearly separated, deductions may need to be more conservative. It is good practice to keep written notes on how you determined your allocation and to retain all invoices and contracts related to your housing and utilities. In addition to your home office, equipment and tools are another core deduction category. Freelancers in Denmark can generally deduct the cost of computers, monitors, phones, cameras, software licenses, and other tools that are used to generate income. For assets above a certain value, you may need to depreciate the cost over several years rather than deducting the full amount in 1 year, following the relevant tax rules for business assets. For smaller items and consumables, such as office supplies, printer cartridges, or minor accessories, you can typically deduct the full cost in the year of purchase, provided they are used for your business. The key is to ensure that your invoices are in your name or your business's name, that payment can be traced from your business account where possible, and that there is a clear link between the item and your freelance activities. Many freelancers also incur a range of subscription and service costs that are potentially deductible. This includes cloud storage, professional software, accounting tools, domain names, website hosting, and professional memberships that are directly relevant to your line of work. If you subscribe to industry journals or pay for online courses that maintain or enhance skills you already use in your freelance business, these can often be deducted as well. However, broad, general education that is not clearly tied to your current business may be treated differently, so it is advisable to be cautious and to document the connection to your existing services. Networking, marketing, and client acquisition also generate deductible expenses. In Denmark, reasonable costs for running a professional website, paying for online ads, printing business cards, or engaging in targeted marketing campaigns typically qualify as business expenses. If you attend conferences, professional meetups, or trade fairs to build client relationships or stay informed about your field, participation fees, travel costs, and in some cases accommodation can be at least partly deductible, assuming the primary purpose is business-related. Entertainment and hospitality require particular care. While some client-related meals or coffee meetings may be deductible, they are often subject to specific limitations, and purely social or lavish events are unlikely to be fully recognized. Always capture who you met, the business purpose, and keep the receipt. Travel is another important category. If you travel within Denmark or abroad purely for work, for example to meet clients, deliver a project on site, or attend a professional event, you can generally deduct transport costs such as train tickets, flights, and in some cases mileage if you use your own car. Denmark has standardized rates for business mileage when you use a private vehicle for work, rather than a company car, and using these official rates is often the most straightforward approach. Accommodation and reasonable daily allowances may also be deductible when you stay overnight for business reasons. The main principle is that commuting between home and a permanent workplace is usually treated differently from travel that is directly tied to specific freelance assignments, so clarifying the nature of each trip and keeping clear records is important. Many freelancers overlook insurance and pension contributions as part of their tax planning. Certain business-related insurance policies, such as professional liability insurance or equipment insurance, are typically deductible as business expenses. Health or personal insurance may not always be deductible in the same way, so you should review the specific product and its purpose. Pension contributions can also provide significant tax benefits in Denmark, depending on the scheme you use. While this is not a business expense in the traditional sense, voluntary pension savings for the self-employed can reduce your taxable income within specific limits, and the structured pension strategy is a key part of building long-term financial security as a freelancer. Because the detailed rules and thresholds can change, it is wise to check current guidance or consult a tax advisor before making large contributions. Another area to consider is phone and internet usage. If you use your mobile phone and broadband connection for both private and business purposes, you must allocate the portion that is genuinely related to your freelance work. Some freelancers choose to have a dedicated business phone subscription to simplify this, but if you use a single plan, document your rationale for the percentage you deduct. SKAT expects a reasonable, consistent method rather than arbitrary numbers. Similarly, if you subscribe to digital tools or platforms that have both personal and professional elements, for example, storage or design tools, keep notes on how you use them in your business to support your deduction. Underpinning all of these categories is the importance of documentation and bookkeeping. In Denmark, freelancers are expected to keep orderly records, including invoices issued to clients, receipts for all deductible expenses, bank statements, and, where relevant, mileage logs and written explanations for cost allocations. Using a simple accounting system, even a basic cloud-based software solution, can significantly reduce the time you spend preparing your annual report and your tax return, and it makes it easier to demonstrate compliance if SKAT requests information. Aim to separate personal and business finances as much as possible, for example, by using a dedicated business bank account, so that you can clearly identify your deductible costs and avoid mixing private spending with your freelance activities. It is also important to be aware of the threshold for VAT registration, known as MOMS in Denmark. Once your turnover exceeds the current threshold set by law, you are required to register for VAT, charge VAT on relevant services, and submit periodic VAT returns. While VAT is technically separate from income tax deductions, the two interact. Some expenses include recoverable VAT when they are directly related to a VAT-registered business. Understanding when you can reclaim VAT, and when you cannot, will affect the net cost of your expenses and your overall profitability. As a final point, remember that tax rules, deduction limits, and thresholds evolve over time. What is fully deductible today may be subject to new caps or documentation rules in future tax years. For that reason, it is good practice to review SKAT's official guidance at least once a year, and to seek professional advice if your situation becomes more complex. For example, if you start hiring subcontractors, operating across borders, or managing multiple income streams. In summary, as a freelancer in Denmark, you can typically deduct a wide range of costs related to your business, including home office expenses, equipment and tools, software and subscriptions, marketing and networking, business travel, relevant insurance, and certain pension contributions. The value of these deductions depends on accurate records, clear separation of business and private spending, and an approach that is consistent with SKAT's expectations. By treating your freelance work as a professional business from day one, with structured bookkeeping, informed tax planning, and timely follow-up on regulatory changes, you can optimize your tax position while staying firmly within the rules. If you take the time to set up these basics now, you will not only reduce your tax burden, but also gain a much clearer understanding of how your freelance business in Denmark is truly performing.